What is up, friends? It's been a minute since I've talked about gaming, but we are back because we had a Vidya game drop a beta, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, man. It is an absolute slapper. I played all 3 days or 2.5 days that the beta was available, and I definitely have some thoughts. So, like, you know, before we get started, I'm gonna do the YouTuber thing, tell you to not do whatever you want. I don't care. I don't make these for y'all. But it's a fun game, man. Like, overall, my experience was a fun out of 10, and I just want to kind of give some thoughts about things I liked, some things I would change. Firstly, the game looks incredible, man. Like, it's really like taking advantage of whatever engine they got going on. I'm not sure if this is Hedgehog Engine 2. I hope it is, but it looks really fucking good. It runs smooth, man. I personally didn't run into any glitches during the beta, but I know some people did. Like, some people were reporting them and, you know, doing what Sonic fans do. It's like, oh my God, it's over. It's cooked. Crossworlds is cooked. Crossworlds is fucking cooked. And I'm just like, it's a beta, man. Did we forget the idea or the purpose behind a beta? It's to test shit out and see how shit's functioning and how things work, what's broken, what's not. And then, you know, they iron that out. We still don't have a release date for this game, so calm down. If you ran into some glitches, it's not the end of the world. It will be okay, I promise. The next thing I did like were the vehicle customizations. That's fun in any game because, like, you really get to, like, build your vehicle. And there are 3 car types, right? So there's speed type, acceleration, and handling. And they all, you know, focus on the type of the car. Like, speed cars are faster, acceleration cars don't slow down as much when you run into objects or walls. They pick up speed very fast, but they're slower. Handling cars, you have, like, the tightest control. I honestly think that handling cars are, like, I don't want to say broken, but OP, because you can just drift and turn like butter, man. It's so good. But they have the worst acceleration, so there's always a give and take depending on the arc type. And then you can have customization, so, like, you can pick a front half of your car that gives you better acceleration, or a back end of your car that gives you better handling and things like that. You get to play around with the stats a lot. There wasn't a lot of customization in the beta because, like, they obviously don't want to give away everything. But what was there really, really makes me think that there's a lot of thought put into it. I don't know. I'm assuming that there's going to be better unlocks than what we got, because everything in the beta only really increased or decreased the stat by 1 or 2 points. I'm pretty sure there's going to be customizations where you're, like, making life or death decisions. Like, do I want this extra 20 speed at the cost of 30 handling? I don't know. But overall, I did like the customizations. Like, everything seems to be in order as far as, like, how you acquire them, you know, what they do, the variety of customizations, because there were some, like, pretty cool designs in there. I think the Mirage Wing was a design, and that shit was dope. The next thing would definitely have to be the tracks. Like, I enjoyed all of the tracks that we got in the beta. Like, no 2 tracks really felt the same. And there are different sections. So, like, akin to, you know, your typical kart racer, there's the land sections where you're just in your car or your vehicle, because they've confirmed extreme gear. So there are going to be different vehicle types in the final release. But you have land mode, which is, you know, just you and your car. Then you have plane mode, and then you have the boats. And those, like, when you're transitioning into those, it's really seamless, because it happens, like, most of the time right at an intersection. So it's not like you don't know when it's gonna come up. It doesn't really feel random, and it's more or less necessary because you can't cross that part of the map without being in that mode. And I think that's pretty cool. Like, there's enough shortcuts in the game to where, like, you'll have enough to digest and, like, figure out optimum routes without you being like, do I have to make the decision between flight mode or land mode and things of that nature. But that was really fun. All the stages have their own unique feel. Like, nothing feels like a carbon copy of any other stage. There is a phobia of Wonder Museum going on, though, because I think I got that stage like 3 times. Nobody ever picked it. That and Water Palace, I believe, were the stages that I saw the least in the beta, which is crazy because I like Water Palace is really fun. I like that shit. The next thing is the items, and I think this is where most people would probably have the same issue that I had. They are entirely too frequent. They aren't like, everything feels balanced, you know, everything functions the way it should. I didn't feel like there was an item that was just like head and shoulders above everything else. Everything felt like, you know, fairly balanced, but it's just, dog, you always have an item. You always have an item. And there are, I forgot to mention this earlier, but there are like these little cards that you can put up to 6 perks on. So you can do stuff like hold more rings, which will increase your max speed, or there's a collision one where like every time you bump into somebody, you get a slight boost. You can perform your air tricks faster, things of that nature. You can customize those and tweak them. But there's one that gives you 3 item slots in a game where you already get hella fucking items. Like it's insane. Like if you're gonna have a perk like that in this game, then the item frequency needs to be toned way down. Like just on a basic U-bend, and I'm pretty sure you're seeing it in the gameplay right now, but like on a basic just U-bend, there's like 3 item boxes. There's one going into the corner, one coming out of the corner, and then one on the very next curve. Like it's insane. And that's only exemplified by arguably the only thing that I had an issue with in the game, and that's the final stretch. The last 1,000 meters of any race is pure RNG, and it makes me want to tongue fuck a shotgun. Like everybody's gonna have an item, right? Just go ahead and get that in your brain. Everybody, all 12 racers are going to have an item, and 6 of those items are going to be defensive items. The other 6 could be a mixed bag of attacks and boosts, but 6 of those items are going to be like wide area clearing defensive items. And again, the last 1,000 meters is just a pure scramble. So like there's this thing in most races called being in the pack, and that's usually from like 4th to 8th place or 4th to 9th, depending on how many people are in the race, where it's a war zone. It's just chaos because everybody's fighting to break out. So like all of your catch-up items start to show up around there, like the triple boost, the drill wisp, the laser wisp, the monster truck power-up, all of that stuff starts to show up in spades in those positions. Now, mind you, I just said you get a lot of items already. So if you're in that position, you can basically like get an item that's gonna boost you, run into a double item box, and just hold 2 items until you run into the next double box, which is like 40 meters away from that one. Like it is absolutely too frequent, and it needs to change. Like every race I had past like the tutorial rank, which I think was like just D rank, like every race that I had after that, like it felt like pure RNG. Like I'd be in 6th place up until the final 1,000 meters and then somehow come in 2nd because everybody just hit each other with items. Or conversely, I'd be in 1st and then dip all the way down to like 8th because everybody's clustered up and they cross the finish line within milliseconds of each other. I would like to see them add like a timer, like a race timer, and on the end result screen, just so I can know how close I was to victory and to see how many people cross the finish line at the same time, because it's an absolute jumble, man. Like it is insane. The last like 1,000 meters or the last 20 seconds of any race, anything is possible in those last 20 seconds. But overall, I really didn't have too many complaints, man. Like it wasn't a laggy game. The connections were good. It's fun. Like I enjoyed the time that I had with it. It's definitely a day one. The tweaks to the items and the tweaks to the perk card, I believe, would do really good for the longevity of the game. Because like there's some stuff in there that I feel like should cost 3 points that's like 2 points or 1 point. And I would like to see that change. I know we're gonna get more customizations. I know we're gonna get more characters. Yeah, I think pretty much sums it up, man. I had a good time. Hopefully they do another one so more people can play it. And yeah, it's a day one. It is definitely a day one, man. But I will see y'all in the next discussion video or in the next dub. Peace.